Welcome to another episode of Disaster Empire Quick Views. This is the podcast where we talk to thought leaders and innovators in resilience. And many of you know this face. This is Paul Lambert from Ripcord Solutions. If you haven't seen him at a conference, you need to engage with him next time you are out and about. So Paul, thank you and welcome. So glad to have you on the podcast.
Yeah, thanks, Alistair. I really appreciate that.
Excellent. So we're going to be talking about resilience and training. And hey, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, audience, please do so as it will help to grow it. Really appreciate that. But let's dive right in. So Ripcord Solutions provides training for business continuity. And I know there's other things, and we'll get into that in just a moment, that you also provide. But can you talk a little bit about the trainings that you do specialize in, and we'll go from there?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Ripcord, we specialize in end user and recovery team training. So when you're thinking about what your program is and what you want it to be, and all of the business units and all the people within your organization that you really need to help with your program, that's what we specialize in training, really kind of getting them through that business continuity methodology and even starting at the very beginning on the awareness side, just making sure everybody's kind of on that same page.
Hey, Paul, so walk me through what is unique about the training offerings that you provide today. And I know it's, started off with business continuity, and we'll dive a little bit more into the history, but you're offering a lot more today. Can you share that with the audience?
Yeah, absolutely. So but we started with business continuity. That was the experience of the founder of our company, was in business continuity. But since then, goodness, we do, BC, DR, EHS, security, essentially like anything bad that can happen. That's our specialty. Like that's our sweet spot. So yeah, we've been doing, all sorts of different types of trainings within organizations. A lot of times we'll actually, Ashley, you mentioned the conferences. We're at all the conferences. A lot of times we really do love business continuity. So a lot of times we'll get into a company, right? I'm teaching people how to do a BIA, or, why is business continuity important? And then all of a sudden, facilities or security, they'll see our trainings and it's like, oh my gosh, who did this? Right? We need a ladder safety training, or we need something a little bit different, right? But still bad. That's our specialty, anything bad. And so a lot of times we're brought into a company and we just expand once we get inside.
Excellent. It's so good to hear that you're getting that customer, input that's so positive from the business continuity management side, but it's also expanding for you.
Right.
So, hey, I want to ask you a question that I ask all of my guests. And because it is a buzzword and I'm talking all about resilience, what does it mean to you?
Oh, wow. I feel like this definition is constantly kind of changing and evolving. I guess for me, let me go back a little bit. Hopefully I can explain what resilience is to me. So when I first started in business continuity in this universe of resilience, it was about 15 years ago. And I knew nothing, like everybody else. I knew nothing about business continuity. I was a graphics guy and just happened upon it. And we were writing scripts for trainings. And when I began writing scripts for trainings at the very beginning, one of the big things for me was like the normie norm, the normal guy or gal sitting at their desk, right? And they're doing their work. They just want to go home. They like their company. They don't love their company. They like playing softball on Thursdays or whatever it is, all the things that aren't involved with work. And all of a sudden, right, the business continuity team wants them to do a BIA or to do plans or to, evacuation or whatever it is to keep them safe. And so resilience to me is that's how I define it, is when the normal person sitting at their desk, once they realize that their company cares about them specifically, their safety, right, their well-being, that if something bad goes down, that they're still going to get paid. That to me is resilience. And having companies setting up, really looking at it from the end user's perspective, or from their customer, right? Not necessarily their customers for the business, but their customers as a BCM program, which are all the employees, and really kind of helping them whether it be walk through that process and be strong and be capable of handling anything that can happen. That's resilience to me. So it's less for me about the business in general, but the safety, security, and the resilience of the business in terms of that regular kind of person who's trying their best, to work together and make that company even better. So, yeah.
Oh, I love that perspective because, your customers are, those of us in the industry, right? But I love that you're really thinking about the end user, right? The employee, the average person, right? That's consuming the material, which ultimately is what we're trying to build up the capacity of for
Exactly.
training and awareness. So, I know that you've been an amazing partner in this space. So it's great to hear your perspective because, like you said, you've been evolving, right? Right
Yes.
along with us.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
and I can just imagine you have that unique perspective because it's not your day to day, in terms of programmatic, but it definitely is your day to day in terms of supporting your customer, those of us in the work, in the day to day. So it's a slightly different frame,
Right.
but really glad to hear that you're keeping your eye on the prize, so to speak, and making sure that the trainings remain relevant, and current for those employees. So let's dive into that a little bit more. So what makes your trainings unique? Just building and picking up on the fact that you're really focused on that individual employee who may know nothing about business continuity or resilience or security or safety. What do you believe that you achieve in your trainings to be able to, equitably and make those trainings engaging and get the message across to them?
Right. Excuse me. And there's all sorts of training. There's different types of training, right? In-person, classroom training, one-on-one training. Emails can be considered training at some level. I mean, we specialize in that video training. And even that style, that e-learning kind of style of training has evolved certainly over the years. When we first started, our trainings were 20, 30 minutes long. I mean, it had everything that you can possibly imagine. We've shortened those. We like to stick around 10 minutes at most for a lot of those trainings. And I would say this, one of the biggest things, whether you're training your employees, training recovery teams, it's always important for us, even in that 10-minute window, we want to start with, to steal from Simon Sinek and his philosophy on starting with why. You really, really, really want to explain and show people, why are we doing this? Why, as a company, why is it important that we're resilient? Why is a BIA important? And starting with that why, I think is really, really important for that engagement with employees. And a lot of it comes down to training. I will say this too, a lot of training that we do, yes, it's certainly important to teach people what business continuity is and what the, different phases in your methodology is and different things like that. But a lot of it, it's kind of like a mini marketing program, if you think about it. And you're really kind of getting that message out there, especially if the training is mandated. So if you have to go into your learning management system, you have to watch this training. Well, unfortunately, most employees, there's 50 other trainings you have to take on an annual basis. So if business continuity, not the sexiest subject in the world, if we can stand apart and we can have a nice short 10-minute training with really high quality graphics, with a script that's well written, professionally voiced over, that's really going to stand apart from all the other trainings that that these employees are having to watch. And there will be a little bit of engagement. There will be some buy-in into your program, in that marketing capacity of kind of explaining to everybody, hey, this is what we do. This is why it's important. And this is where we need your help.
It's great that you really dove into that. And, I think about, we ran into each other, most recently in Continuity Insights in Minneapolis, and we were talking about that evolution and training. So it's great that you've shared with this audience that we've gone from those sometimes hours long trainings to 30 minutes to 20 minutes to really what the demand is right now is for digestible, to the point, but comprehensive at the same time. So I know that you're striving to do that. And like you said, it's so important. I just wrote about this recently in a blog. It's so important, for that training and awareness. And I think that awareness piece, gets missed additionally. So talk to me a little bit about, I'm sure a lot of the trainings are focused. Are you being asked by any customers, or have you been asked to kind of do that overall employee awareness, so we can build that? Or is that something that you're looking at doing in the future?
Yeah, no, the awareness course, so whether it be business continuity or DR, that awareness course is by far our most popular course. Almost every one of our clients, it's going to be part of some sort of training package that we're gonna partner with our clients on, because it's so important. It really does. It's kind of the opening salvo with your employees. Actually, I take that back. One of the things we also do, we have a home preparedness course that we actually give away to everybody. It's like 6 minutes long. It goes through like FEMA's 4-step process, super high level, but really important. Request to all of our clients, hey, this is free. It's free for non-clients too, but lead with this, lead with preparing at home. So, as we're developing kind of, let's call it an introduction to business continuity course, as we're developing that, hey, let's push out this home preparedness course, because it's a really simple math problem. When people understand, hey, we got to prepare at home, obviously, right? We got kids, pets, the home itself, right? We want to make sure we have, a couple days of food, the basic stuff, basic preparation at home. Well, then a month or two later, when now we're asking them, hey, now it's time to prepare, right, and plan for the business. It's kind of a nice little transition to kind of essentially to get them a little bit more resiliency focused. So, but yeah, the introduction, kind of that awareness piece, that is by far our most popular course that we've done. I mean, it's just, I don't want to say bread and butter. That's a little too.
But it's a baseline.
Yeah, absolutely,
right?
Absolutely.
Building that awareness
Absolutely.
and engagement. Yeah. Especially in today's changing landscape where we have so many, especially for those working in service industries that are not, direct face-to-face retail, but are more administration, classic financial services, et cetera, where they were mainly office-based, prior to the pandemic. And now many of them are working from home, remote, or might be hybrid, doing both. Having that increased awareness of home safety is so important. So it sounds like it's a fabulous add, to the overall package that you're able to provide to your customers. And I think that's so key, because it sounds like you have developed a great catalog, right, of trainings. And I know that you do customized trainings as well. So I wanted to make sure to add that, to be able to provide that you really work with your customers, is my understanding, to make sure that they're getting the product that they're looking for and works for their culture. So I think that's so important.
Yeah. And I would say, and on that, because each company is so unique, and, the business continuity program from the largest bank to a manufacturer, 70% is basically the same. It's that 30% that's so unique. So all of our trainings, whether with the exception of the home preparedness course, all of them are going to be customized. So we'll take our clients, their branding, their culture, the language that they're using in their program, kind of what makes their program unique, and we want that to shine. There's no powered by Ripcord or anything like that. So yeah, everything we do is customized for our clients. It's as if, we're just a specialist kind of dropped in, made this awesome video, and then it's theirs to keep.
Well, hey, what's next for Ripcord? And I know, as we've been talking about, what you've provided has evolved over the years. Is there anything new on the horizon that you wanted to take the opportunity to share?
The big things that we're looking kind of forward with, there's kind of three main pillars that we're really focused on. One is EHS, kind of safety and security training for us. It's been we have a lot of clients that are really interested in this. And now there are a lot of subscription kind of training companies where you can, sign up for a subscription, but there are a lot of companies out there that are really kind of brand focused, and they love their brand. They want their message. They want everything. So we're doing a lot of customized EHS training. Also, exercises, having automated exercises for business units. That's actually the first product we ever made, so long ago. But those are really getting fun and really getting interesting, just with some of the graphic capabilities and the different kind of what they call branching, where it's almost they start becoming kind of a choose your own adventure exercise, and they're super fun. And my developers love them, because it's like the creative juices just like go nuts. And then I would say even above that is the shorter trainings, the micro learning trainings. So this is anywhere from 1 to 3 minutes, and having kind of a stockpile of micro learnings is what they're called, and having kind of a stockpile of those where you can send those out on a monthly basis, just little updates, a little kind of a heads up, whether it be to the team or, if something bad, unfortunate happens out there, just a reminder about, hey, this is what you do if there's an active shooter event, or if there's an earthquake or something like that. So micro learnings have been really, really effective. And we like doing those too, because it's a little bit more, the creative juices can definitely flow on the micro learnings because it's short, it's compact, and so it has to be perfect.
So I learned something new today, which is about the exercises, and that's great.
Yeah.
And definitely, I'm hearing so much an appetite. It's not the first term that I've heard people looking at exercising and doing that branch learning, as you said, and kind of throwing the dice and going in different directions, so that index aren't always like stale.
Right.
They can really depend on what is chosen by the participants. So I think that's great, and hopefully some people reach out to you to learn more about that.
I mean, one of the issues that a lot of programs face is that kind of middle management or whoever the plan owner is, they have a really hard time kind of getting buy-in from them. They're so busy. They're managing people. They're they're doing stuff, and so to allow that exercise facilitator, that plan owner, whoever's kind of taking charge of that exercise in that business unit, to give them a little bit of control over the scenario, whether it be the time, whether it be the event itself, whether it be the impacts kind of up front, that whoever's facilitating the exercise is going to have a little bit of ownership. They're going to own the scenario. And this is kind of the thinking process behind it. So in that way, hopefully the goal is to get their team more involved and that they're going to kind of, with a little bit more passion, say, hey guys, it's time for our annual tabletop. Let's knock this out. I got a really good scenario for you. Let's do this.
Thank you so much for that. It's such a key part of training, right? Is, training and exercising are key elements to building resilience. So great to hear you're right on track with all of that. So excellent. Well, hey, I'd love to talk to you and could talk to you all day, but I know we have to wrap up. Can you share a little bit more? You shared a little bit of your background, but do you want to share a little bit more with the audience for those who haven't met?
Yeah, absolutely. Goodness. I feel like everybody that I meet falls backwards into business continuity and resilience. I did a somersault on the way back. We actually started as a family business. It was Ripcord was started by my father. He was a director at a couple Fortune 500 companies and for business continuity, and really had a passion for training and actually getting kind of practitioners up and running. As I mentioned, I'm more on the end user side. I'm a normal guy. And I literally hey, I was a sales guy. I'm a salesperson. I love it. And I was asked to, hey, can you go to a conference and sell, just start selling things? And I couldn't sell anything. I couldn't sell a thing. It was terrible. I was terrible at it. I know. Well, I blame the industry. I don't blame myself. I think I was just fine. I think, but I was an unknown factor. So, but anyway, so essentially kind of our roles switched between my father and I, and he started selling, I started making the trainings, and that's kind of what started it all. And that really was my passion. Was just it was more the video creation and writing the scripts and really getting involved. And so that's kind of how I fell backwards into it. And here we are almost 15 years later. Yeah. And now we have a training team. And so it's definitely exciting, and we're having a lot of fun.
Oh, we're fortunate to have you in the industry and that you hung in there and found your niche. So glad to have you.
I will say, I can't even imagine actually doing a BIA or actually, doing that kind of stuff.
That's a great thing, right? That's what we want to hear. If you're happy with what you're doing and you stay excited and jazzed up about it, then that's the best for all of us, right? Because when this becomes rote and uninteresting, then I think it's time for any of us
100%.
to move on. But hey, is there anything else that you wanted to mention that we didn't get a chance to talk about earlier?
Well, I want to reiterate kind of what I mentioned earlier, the starting with why. I think it's so important, whether you're talking to your board or whether you're talking to employees or whatever it is, it's so critical that you really do start with why and get that buy-in and ownership from whomever you're talking with. Really kind of just encourage them to join forces, so to speak, and really kind of start with why is resilience important? Why are we doing it? Why do I need you to do all these things? And that's probably the most important thing I could share.
Okay, so as we wrap up today, do you have a fun fact that you can share with the audience? Maybe things that people may not know about you, a hobby?
Well, some people may know this about me because I talk about it incessantly, but I am completely obsessed with soccer right now, or football. I can't stop watching it. All my kids, all four kids play. I used to coach when when they weren't as good as they are now. My coaching skills have gone away, but I can't help myself. I am like obsessed with the Premier League and soccer, and I just watch it. Just I'm listening to podcasts now, and just
Wow. You're definitely into it. So make sure next time you see Paul to talk about soccer.
Yes. And exactly. And the problem is soccer and training. Those are the two things that I'm going to be known for. And my teams are. I'm not a fan of one. My favorite teams fluctuate. I mean, possibly weekly. So it is a lot of fun, and all my family, we all watch it. We wake up early on Saturday and Sunday mornings and watch some Premier League games.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Excellent. Thank you so much for sharing that. Well, hey, thank you so much for coming on, being a guest, and sharing what you're doing with everyone out here. So thank you to the audience for joining. Paul, it's been so great to talk to you again, and looking forward to seeing you in a few months. I think we decided DRJ fall coming up in Phoenix. So that'll be great. And have a great summer. It sounds like you're going to be watching and playing maybe.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thanks, Ashley. Appreciate it.